In Detroit, it was different. Detroit taught me life. It taught me how to be a man. It taught me how to be a pro. It taught me how to work. It taught me like what it's like. I thought I understood blue collar. Detroit really, because at that time, I got to Detroit to a point where we had the recession going on. We had the whole Kwame Kilpatrick thing going on, and we weren't winning. So in the papers, it was like every day, it was like something else. It was something else. And we got to the point where some of us, even going out to dinner was tough. The conversation was tough. People were mad. So a lot of us had choices to make. We could have just said, hey, that's not what we came here for. Get up and quit. I mean, God, I was never given that chance, and God knows me. I never walk away from a challenge. So we all sat there, showing up early. Some of us would show up like 2 to 3 hours before practice just to understand, study film, stay 2 to 3 hours later, understand what it was like to work and, give my teammates, the team, what they drafted me for. And I was lucky enough to somewhat, by the time I left, I was somewhat in our division. Um, at some point, I was rated the number one ranked tackle in our league, which was like, you're talking about the type of talent we had. And when I say these things too, a lot of times, it's not to compare myself to anyone. It's most like I'm proud of my work because there are a lot of people, sometimes when you hear these things, you think about ego, but no, to be part of that league, to somewhat selflessly or selfishly dedicate yourself, because it's not easy. You're talking about when I got to that point where I was in bed by 10 p.m., up before 5 a.m. I got into I got into a lot of bad arguments with former girlfriends or relationships. They couldn't understand how I was so driven. They couldn't understand certain things, and that's probably one little mistake I made. I probably would have made a little bit more time for the ladies back then. But I was so dedicated. I wanted to be good at that game so bad. I wanted to be so successful. I cut like I didn't drink. I mean, I didn't smoke, drink every once in a while. Um, I would we used to set up our juices, like, what I'm saying, just like make sure my mind, my body, everything was like on point so I could deliver. Over time, that's why I think over time just to, from where we started to 0-16 to somewhat get to the point where we had playoffs and guys doing it all the right way, it was a thing of beauty. And I wouldn't change it for anything.